Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Jean. Now today we are going to go way back in the past. I used to make these little brag books years ago. Way before we had cell phones that held all your photos and everything. Back then I wanted something that I could carry in my purse for pictures of my daughter, but I really didn't like the little photo album things that they sold. I made this. This could not be any easier, guys. You can use this as an album, and we'll talk about it more as we're going along. But all you need is 3 sheets of paper. You can use 12 by 12, but I want it smaller for in a purse. You can even go smaller. And we're going to cut these all in half. So I went with 8.5 by 11. This is 110-pound cardstock, the Michaels brand. So I'm just using black. And then any paper will do. I'm just going to use this Disney one because, you know, back then I kind of had a Disney one and I had a regular one. But I didn't have the fancy Disney paper back then. So I just kind of, used stickers and all that stuff. I didn't have, we didn't have as much fancy paper as we have now. It was pretty plain. But I'm going to use this pad and the black background. So all we have to do is very easy. Is we're going to cut all these in half. So we're going to cut them all down to 5.5. Couldn't be any easier than that. How many of you had little brag books in your purse? I made them for like my mom and stuff like that. And they were simple. Okay, so the next step, all you have to do, I'm telling you, this is easy, is we're going to just score these. So they're 8.5, so we're going to score them at 4 1/4. We want to score them right in half. 4 1/4. Just score them all first. And this is so easy for beginner crafters. This was one of my first type albums that I made. Of course, I didn't call it an album. I really didn't know much about albums yet, but I just took some paper, and I didn't even have this heavy a paper back then. I think I had construction paper, because that's what we mostly had, like construction paper. So now how we're going to do is fold them in half. I'm just going to make sure that they do still line up. Because sometimes, they don't really line up. Okay. Just get them all folded in half. That one's not. Don't worry if they're not perfect. Sometimes, when you score, it just doesn't really score perfectly. It scores to the side a little bit more. But we can fix anything, right? All right. So the next easy peasy part is we are just going to glue them together. So we're just going to glue them all together like this. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so let's just glue them together. So I'm going to just take one. I have my glue press is upstairs working on a project up there. So I'm just using, it is art glitter glue though. So all we're going to do is just go, you can use tape. I'm just a glue person. I rarely use tape. I like when glue dries, it kind of gets stiffer. So I like that. So just kind of line up best you can. And that was kind of terrible. Try again, Jean. Don't worry, it's only paper. Grab me one of my little rags. Okay. Okay, we're just going to continue on, gluing them together. I know I have a lot of new crafters that appreciate some of these easier projects. Of course, I do a few more that are a little bit more advanced, but I don't still think they're all that hard. So, okay, just keep adding. Now this is basic. There's a lot you can really do with this design. If you want to leave the top open, you can have a pocket, but I'm doing just a basic, easy one for you guys right now. I have turned this into an address book, this same style. I have turned it in fact, I have one of them just like this that have all my passwords in. You know, you got to have your passwords somewhere. And I know I just gave out a big secret. Don't worry, I change my passwords all the time. But I'm one more of a visual type person. I do not like putting notes on my phone and stuff like that. Doesn't work for me. I have little notebooks everywhere that I have stuff in. That's how I work. Okay. All right, we got them all together. Let me just cap this for a little while because we're going to do some cutting. And this is what it looks like then. And it lays flat. So it looks just like this. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, we're going to just simply put on some, you know, back in the day, I really didn't put, like, you know, like I said, we didn't really have the papers. So I would just put my daughter's picture in, and then just put some stickers around it, and maybe put some writing on the bottom. And probably back then I used mostly like a lighter color so that I can write right on it. But we can be a little bit more fancy now because we have fancier stuff out there. So all we're going to do is I'm going to line all these and see how nice and flat it goes for you. So you can use it as a diary. You can use it to put in your purse to take notes, like when you're out shopping and stuff like that. And if you see something, or okay, nowadays I use my phone a lot if I take a picture of something, but sometimes like I will write some notes down that come to my head, mostly for crafting ideas, kind of write things down. So that's always in my purse. Okay, so we're going to first pick out what we want for and put it aside for our top page. Do we want? I think we'll stay fairly simple. Do I want that black? Thinking on that one. I think I'm going to go with, the stars. I think I'm just going to go with the stars, but don't worry. We're going to take the stars, and we can either do the stars. But because I got black on black, this one has plain sheets in too. So we are going to take, I think there's a red, and we're going to put this down first, and then we'll put this over. Okay, put these aside. I don't care about my back so much. We won't be putting a spine. You don't want to put anything over that because you want it to bend. So now we need 12 sheets. We'll cut 12 quick. So we're just going to randomly pick. And how I'm going to do it, I like to be about an 1/8 inch around. We're going to round our corners, but in just a second too. Where's my ruler? So I like to be like an 1/8 inch. So these are 4 1/4. So I'm going to take off. I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do all my sheets 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just gonna grab out of here because it doesn't matter for the inside. Just be aware of your pattern. So we need the 5 1/4 tall. So just be aware of your pattern. So I need 5 1/4 by 4. Get off there. And that's going to be the size for all my pages. We're going to get them all done first, and then we will go ahead and put them in. Let's take, we got, this tablet has enough pages in it, just 48 double-sided, and I think there is at least three of each design or something like that. We're going to cut 2 at a time. What side I want? This side. So make sure I have my pattern right. So this will be another good one to, you know, give to your kids, put in the car, carry around. They can carry it around with them and draw in it while you guys are driving. A vacation one, if they have their own little camera. 2, 3 so far. And I would have cut all this ahead of time, but I know a lot of my beginners like to see the full process. So this may take a little bit longer. Like I said, we're just going through. I'm not going to take any of those. Take the castle one. Okay, that's enough. We got 3 here. We know we can do 3 on this cutter. Okay, didn't want to go all the way down 3, so I guess we'll stick with 2. How's everyone been doing? Hope everyone is well out there, staying healthy. So far, so good over here. Okay. Well, if I counted right, I have 12. If I didn't, we'll be cutting another one. Move some of these scraps out of our way. Now what we're going to do is we are going to round. You don't have to round the corners. I did it back in the day. We didn't have fancy stuff. Okay, but I'm going to round the corners. Soften it up. So let's just round all our corners. My corner rounder would cooperate here. And I'm using the 1/2 inch on my, and you can use any old corner rounder. It don't matter. I think pop shut. I mean, there's many uses for this when you get down to it. I'm sure you'll find something to use this for. And it's such an easy little album, whatever you wanna. We will be making an actual address book too. Keeps laying it down and closing it. Okay, not one more yet. Okay, and I'll make sure where my book is. Got them all. This one didn't go all the way. Now let's see if I got all my corners. One more. Okay. Now we'll do all these. Just make sure now we want to do the right side. So we're going to do them and glue them so that we don't get mixed up. So on this one, we want to do these 2 corners. Don't worry, though, if you accidentally do, trust me, I've accidentally done it before. Most of these papers are double-sided, so you'll be fine. You just flip to the other side. And then this one, we want to do this side. And I see my bottle is going to have a clog in there. Which, of course, because I'm live, it's going to do those things. Well, I'm not live, but I am on taping. I guess I'm kind of live. I'm alive. Okay. This one next, and we want to do this side. And I don't do a lot of decorating. Now, here's the other thing with this book. Because we really don't have a spine, you don't want to put a lot of bulk in this. This is just like a brag book to put in your purse. We're not even putting a closure on it. You can put a closure. We're not going to. I don't like to fumble when I'm in the car. Or like, you know, when I got something to quickly write down. I don't like to fumble and try to undo the closure and however. But you can put a closure on. You know, I do those on my albums, but I don't do this on these little brag books because they stay pretty closed by themselves. Because you're not putting bulk in them. You're not decorating them up a lot. What this is basically to put pictures down. And then when you're, you know, you haven't seen grandma for a long time, but they want to see what the kids look like. I'm sure nowadays they send pictures. But, you know, grandmas, some of them might not have a phone that they look pictures off of. So this is a easy thing to put in a purse. Or, you know, you do this through the year. You put different pictures of your child for the whole year, and then you gift it to your mom, grandparent, aunt and uncle, or something like that that don't see them very often. And then they get to see a year in the picture of your child, you know, how they grew over the year. You can do something like that. Or like I said, just put, if I was using it as like for notes and stuff, all I do is put, I don't even do anything fancy, to tell you the truth. All I do is use a light colored cardstock, and then I just make the actual book, just make the plain book like this. I'll do something fancier on the cover, but the rest I just leave blank. And then I write in it. Sometimes I draw little pictures of the ideal that I have, things like that. Just making sure I didn't repeat this one. But this was one of my first jumps into like kind of an album. You know, I showed you some of my first albums that I've made already. We have done those in video. But this is kind of like, really, before I knew what an album was, I was making these. I called them brag books back then. Put the gas on. And it's not hard to do. We are at, what, 20 minutes so far. And we almost have the whole thing completed. Because like I said, we're not going to do no decorating. What you can do is put some stickers. You want to keep things flat because the book is a flat book. It's just basically for pictures. I think I did the camera already on that side. So you do this, guys. You kind of sit there and like spend more time figuring out which, like, it doesn't really matter. You're going to cover most of it up with pictures anyways. So whatever size picture, what were they, like, I don't know what size were pictures way back when you got them developed. I forget what they were, but I ended up cutting most of mine down because, they wouldn't fit, or, you couldn't crop them, before you, like on the phone now, I crop my pictures before I print them out. You couldn't really do that before. You took the pictures, sent them in to get them developed, and you got what you got. I did have, later on, I did have a fancier camera, but gosh darn it, I tell you, I had more problems with that thing. I always went back to my just basic camera. There you have it. That would be like the inside. And like I said, I wouldn't do much else with the inside until I put pictures down. And then I just put stickers. What I did was I put a picture, about a 3/4 and left the bottom. And I would put like, a piece of white down or something that you can write on. Let's be honest, a lot of times it was lined paper. It wasn't pretty. But that's what I did. Okay, so let's do our cover. Who here, like, I'm in my 60s, I'll admit it, whatever, I'm in my 60s, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about my age. Who had the Sears or JCPenney catalogs and would cut out the women, the boys, the men, anything like that, cut out the clothing and make paper dolls? Who did that? I did. And then you'd cut out like some of the furniture and, different things you would do with that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and that's what we had back in the day. We didn't have fancy stuff. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. So this one we're going to do 5 by 3 3/4. And you can do it any way you want. You can give more of a border. You can give less of a border. You can do whatever you want. And then we're going to layer it up like that. So I have that little red. Let's move that aside. I may or may not need that. See how 20 about 23 minutes. And some of it I was talking, explaining things. That, whoop, bring it down, Jean. Going a little crooked. Ooh, my pin's stuck on my rag. Okay. Any paper. Okay, I'll admit it. I would use some of those catalog pages with scenes on or whatever for my front cover. You used whatever you had available back then. Okay, look at that. See, it's way cuter than mine was back in the day. But now it's, like I said, it lays flat. If you want to put a closure on, you put a closure on. I like it just like this. I throw it in my purse or whatever, and off I go. So the back we're just going to do, let's see if there's anything in here we haven't used. Yellow there. I think I used the polka dots. Let's use this red one. We didn't use the red polka dots. I know some of you have enjoyed my, let's call them blasts from the past craft things. I don't know. We'll call it that. I've been trying to show you like things that I did when I first started crafting and how I, like I said, we used Elmer's glue back then or school paste. Oops, I see how I did that. I screwed up and I did the wrong. So now we're getting the castles. See, easy as that. I'm talking, I'm not paying attention, but it don't matter. There you go. Easy as that. And I think because I was talking, I cut it too short too. But we don't care. We're going with it. Do you care? No, look. Now, another thing I did is the last page, and we can use, because we have some of this scraps, what I did a lot of times, let me see what color we want to put on that. Maybe we'll just use the stars. Is I made a little pocket. And what I did with the pocket is I would put extra photos in there for handing out. I would put a little pocket. Let's see if that's what we want to go with. We'll probably go with the stars. Or do we want to go with this one? The red one's kind of cute too. Let's go with the red. And in fact, I think I'm going to leave the red exactly the way it is. That height and everything. I'm just going to cut off the side to 5 1/4. So like I said, it is not a lot of bulk to this. Why did I say 5 1/4? 4, right? You're all like, Jean, 4 inches, not 5 1/4. That's why you guys are out there and I'm here. You know, just try it, guys. Here's what you got to try. When I first started my channel, I don't know how many retakes I took on my first video, but let's not talk about it. When you start talking to a camera and not somebody in front of you, it's completely different. I'm better at it. I'm getting better, but it's still nerve-wracking, and your brain works a little differently than if you were just doing your own project and doing your own thing. Okay, so I'm just going to do the 3 sides. I'm going to do the 2 sides and the bottom. And then you have your little pocket. And like I said, back in the day, you know, we didn't have tape besides like Scotch tape, or like, I think we had some kind of like masking tape thing, you know, whatever tape we had back then. But it was a lot of like school glues you used. I know, what a rough life we had, huh? Just kidding. And then now you have pocket. So like I said, I used that, and you can put that on, you know, any other page. But I mostly just did it in the back, and I stuck in extra pictures, like your school pictures that you want to hand out to your family. Some extra pictures from Christmas time, maybe. Maybe grandma was holding the baby, and you want to give that to her. So you put it in here, tuck it in here, so you remember to give it to her next time you see her. I mean, because nowadays, yeah, you see them quite a bit. You can send them a picture. I still like physical. I still like physical things, you know. I don't like just having everything on the phone. I still print out pictures. I still put them in albums. So basically, this is all we're going to do. I won't do the inside. I'm going to put something on the cover. When I come to do, if I would put pictures down, then, like I said, I would just put a sticker down there. Sometimes not. Sometimes just a picture. Because depending on how big you put it, you can decorate. You want this to stay flat, you know, because if you start putting bulk in, you can see already, if you start putting a lot of bulk in, it's not going to lay like an album, because we didn't make a spine for it. So this is just a cute little, look, it stays pretty nicely. Now let's see what we had for, I think there was some little cards and stuff in here. Let's take some of these sheets out, and we might do a little something on the front. Now remember, if you're putting this inside your purse and everything, you might not want, you know, too much on the front. I will not pop anything up, because I will just lose it in the purse anyway. And this is a blast from the past, so I didn't pop anything up back in the day. I did some like decoupaging, when you take the pictures and you would cut different parts out of, if you had a bunch of the same picture, you know, and then kind of layer them. You know, I did that back in the past. Let's see, I think this is the last sheet. Okay, we'll see what we can come up with here. If we like anything to put on the front. Let's look at everything. Maybe like something big. This one I had to cut. Time for Magical Adventure. It's cute. This one I would definitely use for another one thing I made for it. You know what else I did with this? Is I made it into an autograph book. So basically, we didn't even do nothing with the cover until I got back. You know, all my stuff is packed away like really packed away into containers and packed on the shelf. And so a lot of it's packed away for my daughter for later on. I don't want it to get wrecked anymore. So I can't show you some of the things. Then I just left empty pages. I put just empty pages in here and you write on it. It makes a nice autograph book too. It's very sturdy. We used 110-pound cardstock and it's basically doubled up. So it makes a great autograph book too. When you come home, put your cover on, decorate the cover. Maybe if there's not a lot of autographs on, you can put a little picture down here of, say, Mickey signed up here, and you have a picture of your child and Mickey together. Then that would be perfect. So that's another good idea for that. I know they just pop in my head. I think we're gonna just go with that one. I'm not gonna, piddle around here too much because this isn't about decorating this album. We'll do other albums that we actually decorate. I'm gonna end up cutting that off, so we don't want to do it that way, so we want to go this way. I don't want to cut all the way down. I only want to cut down to layer. And get the eyeball this side. First, let's cut that little red off the top. Make my life easier. Now we can cut along here. So I hope you guys give this a try. Again, I'm doing the same thing. I hope you guys give this a try and tell me what you used it for. Okay. And cut that side off. And we are just going to put that in the middle, but we are going to round our corners to soften it up a bit. Now, you can bling this up, you can whatever, but like I said, I keep it pretty much simple like this. That's all I'm going to do to this book. I think that's perfect for the type book this is. This is not necessarily an album, guys. This is just a brag book. A little book I want to put some pictures in to carry in my purse of our trip to Disney World or Disneyland. I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World. So what do you think, guys? Isn't that cute? That took us, less than a half an hour. And like I said, you do you inside. You can do you, whatever you want. This is just a quick show you how to make the actual base. And there's your pocket. I hope you guys enjoyed this little blast from the past. And I will try to keep bringing some more of them. Some of them aren't worth showing you guys anymore. They're just that awful. But, if you like awful, just let me know. We'll show awful. So if you guys can give me a like and subscribe. Always leave a comment. I guess, YouTube likes comments, As always, guys, I will see you in the next one. And have a great day.